And last but not least, favorite the game track. I'm gonna go. Why You Hate the Game, featuring
That's a good
Nas.
one.
I ain't the most religious or spiritual person in the world, although I do believe in God. But when I listen to the verse of Nas, and when I listen to Games, especially when Game says Pac is watching while Big is listening, while Pun talking to us, JMJ still spinning, and then at the end, Just Blaze comes in, and then he brings the choir, the church. That is a song. If you ever want to, if you're going through something, if you lost a loved one, if you're going through a horrible day, that is the song I listen to. There's that. There's Dreams. Remember the Dream song,
Yeah.
Yes.
and the one with Kanye, Wouldn't Get Far. Especially in the beginning of the video, in which Game is dressing up as Kanye and Kanye is dressing up as Game.
Yeah.
Game to me is one of the most underrated MCs, especially in the West Coast. And the fact, Doctor's Advocate, the fact that he was able to succeed in the in the aftermath of Dr. Dre. Game is a very underrated rapper, man. And I love the fact that he talked about old school legends a lot on his verses, especially the one with Dreams, because Marshall Mathers made it, Curtis Jackson made it. I'm wondering where in the hell Marvin Gaye went. Like those are like one of my favorite verses with Games. Just the fact that he brought historical context and he brought and gave so much love to the old school people. So I got to give Game love, man. But Why You Hate the Game and Dreams and One Blood as well. That's another great song from Game. Champ.
Oh man, you done took most of the good ones, so I'm gonna interject them. But hey, great minds think alike at all time.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna go, hey, 300 balls. 300 balls. Hey, look, let me tell you something. People talk about diss songs, but when you can get on a track and go at somebody for 15 full minutes and you not lose interest and the listener not lose interest at all, that says something about you as an MC. And I love the way the New Jersey Devil was mixing it in the background and mixing up the beats in the background. Because the thing is, the way he transitioned through each and every last one of those beats and stayed in tune was just special, man. But I hate that we heard that under those circumstances, man. I wish that, in the great words of Jimmy Iovine, I wish that the Beatles could have stayed together, because if you really want me to be honest with you, especially back in those days, him and 50 was so similar, because, if you really
Hate it
think
or
about
love it.
when you think about, hate it or love it. When you think about the trolling and you think about, just waking up deciding, hey, I just want to beef with somebody. You remember 300 balls was good. 200 balls was just as good. He was going at Joe and Myth Bleak. So, all of his mixtape, people want to talk about mixtape. The Game, you know what it is, volume 1, 2, and 3. Those was bangers, man. Those were bankers. Me and my sister used to listen to it as we was driving to school, man. Those were bangers. He was very, very underrated as a mixtape artist, man. The song he did with Drake, 100, that was good.
You took one of mine.
My bad. Great minds think alike, man. Easy was good. Easy was real good. Man, look, like I said, but my personal favorite, like I said, I know it's a diss song, man, but 300 Bars was one of those diss songs that I will never, ever forget, because it was just like I said, a lot of diss songs came out, but for you to go for 15 minutes, not miss a beat, transition through at least about 8 beats, And I mean, and they were classic beats. You know what I'm saying? He rapped over Dear Summer. He rapped over Dead Presidents. He rapped over a whole bunch of, you know, classic hip hop beats. And for you to go through all of that, don't miss a beat, and you keep the listener's attention throughout the whole time. That's why I say 300 Bars is a very, very underrated diss song and one of his greatest songs. Like I said, I just wish that G Unit could have stayed together. Hell, I had a G Unit tank top. You know what I'm saying? Back when doing my army days, I had a G Unit. Yes, I was that guy standing in the corner with a G Unit tank top on with a Corona in my hand like I'm Don Toretto. I was that guy. So I think that was a good one, man. Hey, shout out to the game, man. I think he's very, very underrated, just like you said, PSP. Unfortunately, there's, you know, a lot of other artists came out and it pretty much overshadowed him over time. A lot of other artists came out, especially when Nipsey came out. I think he was pretty much overshadowed at that point because I think Nipsey became like the next big thing. But people tend to forget. People can talk that talk nowadays. They can talk that talk nowadays, but there was a time where Game was the biggest thing on the West Coast. The biggest.
He was, man. And in the mid 2000 years, man. The mid 2000 years, people forgotten just how good Game is, and his bars, his lyrics as well. BRF.
Jesus. I got like a laundry list of Game tracks that I like, bro. I mean, goodness. Like, I mean, of course, like, let's see. Dreams, Hate It to Love It, Put You on the Game, One Blood, Black on Black with Jeezy and Kevin Gates. Gosh, so My Life with Lil Wayne. My Life with Lil Wayne is probably my all-time favorite Game track. Shoot. Either that or West Side Story. I think West Side Story was the track that really put him on the map, was the one that put him on the map that got you noticing. How We Do made him mainstream. Oh man, like Champ said, 100. I love 100. That's a really good record. I think but my favorite all time Game track I think is My Life with Lil Wayne. That the hook, the beat, just everything, just very, very introspective. Very like Game's a really good storyteller. I think that's one of the most underrated parts of his game as far as him being a rapper. He's a really good storyteller, and he's very good at pulling you into his thoughts and keeping you there, like telling stories, you know, about, you know, like a lot of because like My Life. What I like about the My Life track so much was like just talking about like. Because like what you said, PSP, he brought like the old school. He talked about a lot of legends in his raps, like he brought up John Lennon in that. He brought up John Lennon in that song. Right. He brought up like just so much introspect, and it's just like Game brings you in on such a level, and it's just like you can't not listen to it. Like he's probably one of the most like. I don't want to say like interesting, because I feel like there's a better word for captivating. I think is a great way to describe Game in his raps. Captivating. Once he got you, that was it. And I think that was one of the things. That's one of the things about his rap that I respect about him the most, particularly My Life, because his verses, and then Lil Wayne kind of like. I don't know what it is about the Lil Wayne. It's the way he sung the hook. It was the way he sung the hook. It was just like it's the depth, and just you could feel the pain in his raps. You could feel the pain in Lil Wayne on the hook. I mean, it was a time where rap was like, I don't know, man. It was like a real painful time at one point as far as rap, and you could just hear it in the rhymes and the words and everything. And Game for a good minute was at the forefront of that. So he's definitely underrated. He's definitely underrated. like as far as being overshadowed, it wasn't just Nipsey, it was Nipsey and Kendrick.
Yeah.
It was Nipsey and Kendrick. When they came out, it was like the game. He was still putting out good records, but at that point, Nipsey and Kendrick really just they pretty much took over and became and basically kind of set the standard for what the West Coast is now today as far as hip hop.
Yeah.
So, but you can't overlook what Game did from just from the as far as his music from a musical impact standpoint. You can't overlook him because he put out like the documentary, awesome album. Doctor's Advocate, awesome album. The game is somebody not to be slept on, and somebody to definitely we got to give him his flowers because he was the time he rapped. He put out a lot of good records, and he was just a very captivating. He did his job for the time he was allotted to really do his work. He captivated. So you got it. So mad respect to the game. Mad respect to him. But yeah, My Life with Lil Wayne is probably my all-time favorite Game track. But there's so many to choose from because he made so many good records.
He did, man. He did, man. Like he doesn't get enough credit. Very underrated. But why you hate the game? I saw Champ using that for for his pod on Thursday. I told him that's like the type of song you need to listen to, especially at the end. Oh, go ahead, Champ. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, I'm agreeing with you, but yeah, that's you man, look here, man. I gotta give you your flowers on that because look, I used to listen to that during a dark time in my life. I just put it out there. I was overseas, fighting for the country. And that was a song that we definitely kind of leaned on. I definitely used to play once we got back to Garrison. But yeah, that was a beautiful song, man. That it puts you back in the sometimes it's not the song itself, it's where you were during the time that song came out.
Absolutely.
And during that time, me being in Iraq serving our country, that was definitely a time where I needed to hear a song like that, man. Because you was basically praying every damn day that you made it back the way you wanted to be. So I thank God for that song. I thank God for letting me be on here with you guys. And I thank God for another day, man. So
Absolutely.
Hey, thank you for inviting me, man. So
anytime, world champ. Shout out to our guy Kieran. What's up, y'all? Shout out, guys. Shout out to Kieran, man. Go check him out on TikTok, IG.